Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. We're about to start. It's almost time, a minute to go, over here. We do not believe in African time. We believe in punctuality. Hello, everything has to be done at the time that it's supposed to be done. And so here we are. It's a minute to that time, and today we will be meeting with Julius Abure, the chairman of the Labour Party. And so we already have people who are coming in, who are joining already, and we have a Victoria in here coming in. Quite amazing when you have people join quite on time. Oh, other people have also coming in, and that's really fantastic. Hello, everyone. For those of you who are joining now, we are recording this and we're also live streaming on YouTube. Good afternoon and good evening. Good afternoon from here, Washington, D.C. Good afternoon to those who are in Nigeria, and then good evening. Oh, good evening to those in Nigeria. Good morning, good evening to wherever you're watching in from. Welcome to today's program. Today we're going to have a guest, and that guest is Julius Abure, the chairman of the Labour Party. There's been a lot of drama going on in the Labour Party, of course, as expected. This is a party that in the last few years, most Nigerians didn't even know there was a party called Labour Party. But today you have all sorts of drama going on there. But these are things to be expected. Different fights in always, in different forms will be used against this party and against, of course, its candidates. In the last 2 weeks, we had Badisaini Behe Effiong talking to us about electoral petitions and also the 2023 presidential election. And it was really quite interesting, really quite informative and educating to listen to him, as particularly like some of our viewers described it, it was like being in a school and, learning a whole lot. We sort of like had a crash course on electoral petitions and also the 2023, especially the presidential petition. And there's a thread, and Inibehe is someone that I constantly go to his thread on Twitter at Inibehe Effiong. That's his handle on Twitter, where he always talks about a whole lot of things, educating people. And I saw when he recently did a thread and said that Labour Party should be very careful of what is happening right now, because that was the same thing that they did to AAC. And it took them a lot of time, resources, a lot of drama, and they went all the way to the appeal court for them to be able to restore. When someone had come, just like this same drama now, installing himself that he is now the chairman. And what they did was that they sort of like hijacked the party, and then the party, they went to court. So, from what Barrister Inibehe told us last week, and I'm using the knowledge we all got for those who were here last week, he did mention the fact that there are two ways that petitions can be done, electoral petition. The law recognizes it's either the candidate or the party, or sometimes they can have a joint petition. So what they did then to the AAC was, I think maybe it was a party or something, and then this person came, the counsel to the party will now go to the court and be saying that they should throw away the case in itself. So these are some of the things. It's really crazy, the whole drama that can go over. Hey, we'll hear from the horse's mother. I think Abure is calling me right now. Maybe he's having some issues. Let me attend. Okay, so sorry about that. So what is happening is that the Labour Party chairman is trying to join and having a bit of technical issues. So I've asked that let him come and sister, let them be able to walk through that. So hopefully we are going to get them in very soon. So like I was saying earlier, so these are some of the things, the AAC, so they suddenly found out that they now did a takeover of the party, and then their own party was going and saying that, oh, the court should drop the petition. I think that was 2019 election. So Barrister Inibehe in his Twitter thread was saying that, look, Labour Party should also be beware of that, so that you don't have situation whereby some people are coming to say, oh, they are now the Labour Party chairman, and then they will now go to court and their lawyers will be saying. But I think in the way this particular election, it was Peter Obi himself that did the election. There was a joint to this thing. Peter Obi is the lead one and not just the party. So that's the sort of like the pitfall in just allowing saying that, oh, let party be the one to go to court, that if somebody might not come and then you will not say, oh, the party is dropping the case or something like that. But hey, there are a lot of things, interesting things that will be coming on. And so for those of you who are joining, welcome. We're waiting for the Labour Party chairman to join us. And if there's anyone who wants to say something, please go ahead and raise your hands, and we can have you come in and join us and speak your mind while we wait for the Labour Party chairman to join us. With the whole drama that has been going on, it's really been quite interesting, really. It's been quite interesting, all the things that are currently happening in the political space. Oh, fantastic. I think I see Julius Abure coming in now. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so he's still working on his technicalities, and that's one, I think, to get his audio, and then he'll be here, and then we'll be able to start off. In the meantime, we have quite a number of people who are on also on Facebook currently with us right now. Okay. So I'll just try checking the live and ensuring that we have our our audience, our YouTube audience on, and we'll be able to listen to them. So while we're still waiting for the chairman of the Labour Party to go on, is to look at all the current situation that we have on ground today and the lots of wrangling that are going on. But that's not going to be our main focus of this conversation. We are also going to, most importantly, look at what does the party have for Nigeria? What are the things that we should expect from Labour Party? What are the how easy is it to join the Labour Party? What are the opportunities that are there for people to be able to, you know, join the Labour Party itself? I think, please, if you're not, hello, Miss Barrister Julius Abure.
Thank you so much, Aisha.
Hey, well done, sir.
It's good to see your face once more.
Good evening. Yes, so but we are not seeing your face, so put on your video so that we can see your face. Chair mode.
Aisha.
Nobody, that's how I call him, the chairman of chairmen. How you did? This is your cap and they standard. Tell them maybe they adjust your camera small, maybe they see your face well.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, fantastic. It's so amazing. It's great. We have it's great seeing you. Welcome, chairman of chairmen. And
thank you. So are you enjoying your studies?
Aisha.
This is why you use old age to read book.
Oh my goodness. No, it's such a pleasure seeing you. I mean, for me, it's I've personally seen you work, and we traveled all over the country together. You
Yes.
did much more, traveled to so many more places than I did. And it's really, for me, it's what you brought on, the passion, the belief. Even in the early days when many people did not believe in the whole Labour Party, the obedient movement, you were steadfast in your belief, and not just in your believing in it, but the work that you put in. And so it's really a pleasure and an honor having you here. Welcome. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Aisha, and Nigerians, home and abroad, for having me on this program today. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, you get that. He's excited. We have people here, a few people here on Zoom, and also quite a number of people on YouTube. So I'll direct some of those questions that will be coming in as we go on. But normally we just have a bit of discussion before we go on. But before we get into that, and I think this is the thing that's on the burning issue, on the front burner. What's all this drama happening in your party? Are you still the chairman?
Well, what is happening today is laughable, but of course expected. Haven't got this far. I didn't expect that at this level we will not have a major challenge. It is very clear that it is the party in government, party that stole our mandates, that is trying to sponsor people to cause chaos in the party. But as I've always said, no man, no woman can stop an idea whose time has come. The time has come for Nigerians to take back their country. And no amount of intimidation, harassment that can stop that idea from coming into fruition. We are more than ever before determined to continue to pursue what we believe in, defend the Peter Obi's mandates and all other mandates that were stolen from the party across the country. There's no gainsaying the fact that they are intimidated by the new wave of change that we have brought in the table. You recall that this is the very first time that we'll be having this excitement where young people, progressive elements, activists, all are coming together to struggle for a change. And fortunately, Peter Obi and the Labour Party represented that change. And therefore, they are threatened, they are harassed by the rising influence of the party. And I see it as a deliberate attempt to truncate all of this process. And for me, people are ready to defend the cause, people are ready to be with us. And if you have followed our engagement in the mainstream media and even the social media, you see that public opinion, the Nigerian people have seen it clearly that it's the handwork of the ruling party, who no doubt are sponsoring some elements within the party to give an impression as if there is division in the party, there's crisis in the party, and so on and so on. And so for us, it is expected, and we'll continue to deal with the issues as they arise. So I want to reassure you that we are more committed more than ever before. We will not be discouraged. We have made up our mind to be in the forefront of this struggle. Even if they say they want to arrest us today, we're ready to yield ourselves and put them in the public opinion. No sacrifice will be no sacrifice will be too much to make in order for Nigerians to take back their country. And so the razzmatazz, the melodrama that you see is the handwork of those who are afraid of the influence of the party.
Thank you so much for that, Barrister Abure. And for me, it's really, and I'm sure a lot of the viewers who are watching from all over the world, it's really interesting that you're steadfast, you're standing on, you're not giving up from your voice, and you're saying that you're ready to stay on, and these are part of the things that you envisage. There's one particular thing that you shared with us a lot while we're traveling on those campaign trails, and You know, the thing, it's really such an interesting journey. And the question here is, did you envisage the events of the last 11 months with the way things changed and the way your party came into the limelight? Is this something that you ever thought about all this while, or is this something that took you by surprise? And also to give us a background of how long have you been with Labour Party, and just a little bit more about yourself so that the people who are listening and watching, of course, will be able to know more about you.
Well, I have always been in the labor movement. I started my journey in Edo. I was chairman of Post and Telecommunications Employees, which took me to NLC. I've always been there and I fought for the people. And in the process, the idea of having a labor party that would be the voice for the voiceless, a party that would defend the people, was conceived by the NLC. And so we attempted several attempts. There were several attempts to register the party, which didn't work. And we eventually succeeded in getting that done in 2002, after Gani Fawemi fought in courts to liberalize the process of registration of political parties. And so I was the first assistant secretary in Edo, became state secretary, became deputy national secretary, became national secretary, and eventually became the national chairman of the party. So all my life, I've always been in Labour Party. I started my politics in Labour Party, and I have remained in the party. I've always had this mind of having a viral, vibrant opposition party that will stand for the people and defend the people. In my early life, I had the opportunity of actually reading Awolowo's book, because my parents were of the action group, UPN, and I stumbled into Awolowo's book at an early life. I read all Awolowo's book, My Voice Through Prison, Voice of Courage, Voice of Reasoning, My March Through Prison, Adventures in Power, name them, all his books. And probably that informed my orientation, that even led me into joining the labor movement ab initio. I've always had this desire to stand by the people and defend the people. I also have my roots in the civil society. When civil society was membership based, were the ones that started civil society in Nigeria. It may interest you to note that I was in Women in Nigeria. Women in Nigeria. In Edo, I was the state secretary and eventually ended up at the national level as the national financial secretary of Women in Nigeria. Women in Nigeria in the 80s were one of those women-based civil society organizations that fought for the rights of women and fought for the rights of people generally. You may be shocked that what will a man be doing in the struggle for women? The philosophy of Women in Nigeria then was that even though women, is an organization that was women-focused, men have a role to play in liberating and fighting for the betterment of women in the country. And so it was an organization whose membership was open to both male and female, but women-focused organization. I was also in CD Campaign for Democracy. We all in the movement when people like Bekor Asamkuti, people like Chima Obani of blessed memory, Bekor Asamkuti, name them, were in the struggle to actually liberate Nigeria from the shackles of military dictatorship. We are all part of that struggle, and we participated in mobilizing the people, mobilizing students for that struggle. We were neck deep.
Go ahead, we can hear you.
Yes, we were neck deep in the actualization of the June 12th struggle. We participated actively in it. We're involved in it all round. And before we eventually joined the labor movement, and from the labor movement, we became part and parcel of the political revolution in Nigeria. And so we've always been here. And today, I'm happy that history entrusted on me this responsibility to champion the cause for a new Nigeria. It is what I've always wished to do, one role I've always wished to play. But I never knew how that role was going to come into fruition. I actually had this mind of having a strong political party, and that was why immediately I took over as the national chairman of the party. I decided to launder the image of the party, rebrand it, and then set it on the path of what we actually have today. The Labour Party initially was used as a tool for negotiation. You recall that for many years, Labour Party did not take its pride of place in the committee of political parties in Nigeria. What the leaders of the party used to do is to wait for primaries to end. All other parties would have concluded their primaries, and then they will harvest with a view to making money for themselves and for the party. But for us, we thought that we should play the politics different. We should have a political party that will give sense of belonging to all Nigerians of all shades, of all age and sizes, sexes. And so we positioned the party for this. Immediately I took over as national chairman. And as God will have it, as history would have it, it gave me a vibrant, reliable, trustworthy, and a tested presidential candidate. And this, no doubt, changed the political narratives in the country. Today, they refer to us as four people who sit in a room and are 20. Initially, they said we had no structure. But today, we have proved to them that we are indeed the party to beat. If not that they rigged the presidential elections so shamelessly, by today, the political narrative in the country would have changed. It will interest you to note, too, that in the National Assembly, as we speak, a house of over 360 people, 300 members of the House of Representatives are new. This is very unusual. It has never happened. And it's because of the dynamics that we brought into the politics of today. So for me, it is an assignment that we have decided to do. And we are ready to put everything aside. Every discomfort will bear it. Every suffering, we are ready to undertake it, provided Nigerians will have a better life and a government that they can truly call their own. A participatory democracy, a democracy that listens to the yearnings and aspirations of people, a democracy that takes into account the sufferings of the people, a democracy that will have empathy, that will work for the growth and development for the people. I can say here very clearly that the founding fathers of Nigeria had contemplated it to be a welfare state. If you look at section 14 of the Constitution, if you look at section 17 of the Constitution, it's very clear that the Nigeria shall be, that the Nigerian economy shall be managed in such a way that will give maximum welfare and benefit to the citizens of the country. Section 14 says that security and the welfare of citizens shall be the principal purpose of government. Though what we see today is contrary to that, but I still believe that a new Nigeria is possible. That it will be Uhuru very soon. By the time we are able to fight our cases in court and our mandate is restored to the presidential candidate, then it will be the beginning of a new Nigeria, which I firmly believe is possible.
That's A lot. And I take from that last statement, a new Nigeria is possible. You firmly believed it, and you did not only believe it, but you acted on it and you went all through. I mean, seeing it, and it's really gratifying seeing you still strong on this case. So I don't know what's happening with a bit of technicality. We had you on the screen, but I can't see you on the screen anymore.
Okay.
Chairman, and it's not your fault, it's my fault when it comes to all of these, what do you call it now? Yes, I can see your, okay, fantastic. Yes, we can see, because those on YouTube, they are saying they want to see your face. That, you know, they heard you speaking, but I think there's a bit of glitch on that. You mentioned something about a participatory government, and the fact that your party is interested in having one that citizens would participate, and that was going to be my next question. To say, which you've already answered by that simply by that statement, but let me to say, how do you want to ensure the participation of citizens, not only in governance, because as far as a lot of citizens are concerned, they are waiting for your party to get its mandate back and go into governance? And how open is your party towards having new members, not just having new members, but making it very easy for people to register and become members of your party? Because a lot of people are interested in this, and they've been asking a lot, and that's why we decided, let's have you here and let's hear all of that from you.
Yes, we have developed a link which enables people to easily join the party. You click on the link, it displays the states of Nigeria. You click your own state, it takes you to your local government. You click the local government, it takes you to your ward. You click your ward, it takes you to your unit, where you'll be required to fill in your name, and your details. And then your details will be domiciled in the ward. And wherever and whenever we need it, or whenever we need to use it, all we need to do is to go to the back end, print out the register, and it is sent to the ward. We have done the pilot project in Imo, and it has worked out fantastically well. We have also done Kogi, we have done Bayelsa, and then we are doing all the other ones will be out in another 1, 2, 3 days, where we'll share that link, and then it will be all over the place. It will be very easy for every person to join the party. I want to speak generally on participation. For people to participate in their government, you need to have very strong, vibrant public opinion. It is public opinion that assists government to aggregate the feelings, the yearnings, and aspirations of the people. It also assists government to have feedback as it relates to their programs, as it relates to their programs, their philosophy, and all whatnot. And in all of this, freedom of the press is key. Luckily, today, we have a vibrant social media that has helped to shape and reshape public opinion in Nigeria. So public opinion is one way the people can participate in governance. And it is key to every participatory democracy. A democracy or a democratic government without the participation of the people is no democracy. A democracy where the yearnings and aspirations of the people is not taken into account is no longer democracy. And therefore, for us to truly say that we have a democratic government, it means that the people's participation is key. And that's why democracy is defined as government by the people, for the people, and by the people. Another key element in participatory democracy is the role of the legislature. The legislature plays a major role in participatory democracy. The legislature, people, the people are allowed to vote in their representative. In Nigeria here at the House of Assembly, which represents some constituencies or some wards, and then you have the larger one where probably a local government or two local governments, as the case may be, represent the people at the National Assembly, and you have the big one, which has to do with the Senate. All of this is geared towards ensuring that the people have a say in their government. Although what we find in Nigeria is that a lot of these processes are skewed, and those who are elected ordinarily at times may not have the capacity to really represent the people as it should be. Another arm or another factor which must be taken into account
Okay. Hello, Chairman.
Yes. So another factor that enhances participatory democracy is the legislature, like I said. It's one way in which people get feedback. Those in the legislature are supposed to take some time, spend some time with their constituents, be in their constituency office, get feedback, get fresh mandates, which they ought to take to the National Assembly for debate. And that is why it's called participatory democracy. It's a situation where the people speak at the National Assembly or in government through one or two persons who represent them in the National Assembly. So in a participatory democracy, the legislature is key and is very, very important. Another very important factor that we must take into account when discussing participatory democracy is the doctrine of separation of powers. Because it was argued that where power is united on one person, what you get is arbitrariness. Where there is power united in one person, in one arm of government, then of course what you get is arbitrariness, it's abuse of power. And that's why he said that absolute power corrupts absolutely. And therefore, the doctrine of separation of power gives executive power to the executive arm of government, gives legislative power to the legislature, and the judicial powers are given to the courts. But what we find in Nigeria today, these are democracies, is that those in the executive power want to muzzle up the legislature, muzzle up the judiciary. And that is why today Nigeria is almost in comatose. You will agree with me that the last National Assembly, a lot of people described it as a rubber stamp National Assembly, because everything that was taken by the executive to that legislature was rubber stamps. That's why for me it's gratifying today that Labour Party has at least close to 34 members in the House of Representatives. We have 8 senators, more will come through the court. I would be able to give, I really show to Nigerians what it is to have an opposition in the House till we reclaim our mandate, and then we'll do what is right. So, and a lot of other things plays out that encourages participatory democracy. You have the independence of the judiciary. In a participatory democracy, the role of the judiciary is key to the success of every democracy. The judiciary must be must be impartial, must actually be an umpire. Must actually be an umpire. The judiciary must represent the last hope of the common man, and that's why the salaries of judicial officers are consolidated. They are well paid in order to ensure that they are able to play that role and ensure that it's truly and really the last hope of the common man. In participatory democracy, the rule of law also plays a major role, where every man is equal before the law. There's accessibility to court, and all of this put together makes participatory democracy the best form of government. And so it's for us and for you to rightly assess, to see if we really have democracy in Nigeria, or we have something close to democracy.
Thank you so much. Mr. Chairman, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
I wasn't seeing your face anymore. I said probably.
Oh no, I'm here. So I was trying to do two things. So let me confess, I was trying to do two things. I've been told to spotlight it in such a way that your face and my face will be showing. I don't know how to do it, so I just quickly went to try a Google and find out how I can do it. I'm working. I'll soon do that shortly. But it's really interesting how you've talked about taking us through all the participation using the legislative and also the judiciary. And that's very, very key. One very important thing from what you said is the fact where we have 300 new members that are coming in. And that has really shown how angry Nigerians were at the last, at the ninth, what do they call it? The ninth assembly, and the way they have carried to the essay they were called rubber stamp assembly. But in all of this, democracy is very key and it's very needed, and we all talk about it. But I want to ask you, how is the democratic structure in your own party? And because one of the problems we've always had is always issue of internal party democracy, and where some people we sort of like want to lord it over other people. Is that the same thing in your party, or your party is different in the way that it does its things?
Well, obviously, it's different. You see what we are going to do with IMO, and that's why I mentioned to you a while ago that we've just done membership revalidation in IMO, Bayelsa, and the intention is to allow people to freely decide who becomes the governorship candidate in those states. Our process is democratic. If we have criticized PDP, we criticize APC for lack of internal party democracy, then of course we should not be seen to do less. You recall that even the party primaries that brought in Peter was done democratically, where we practically spoke to people. People stepped down on their own. Some midway into the election, a lot of people stepped down, and that was how Peter Obi became the presidential candidate of the party. The party is going to be very democratic, I can assure you of that. And we have always embraced our democratic principles. And I must assure you clearly and very simply that democracy will be our hallmark. Whatever we want to do will be thrown. Members will be free to elect whomever they want. When time for congresses and primaries come, you see how we are going to, we'll not just profess, we'll not just say what we'll not just say it, we'll live with it. We'll show leadership by example, and the space is going to be open to all Nigerians. And that's why we have developed all the membership registration portal and all of that we have developed. to make it easy for people to join and for people to effectively participate. If we can't show party internal democracy, then of course, it's very clear that we can't do well in government. And I don't want to be part of those who will profess one thing and want to another.
Yeah.
So I assure you that we're going to have internal party democracy.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Why you also just mentioned the link. A lot of people are asking for that link to be shared here and also to be shared on YouTube. So if you could just get that link sent over to me now on my WhatsApp, so that I'll just quickly put it there. There's something about that link. For me, you know, we live in the 21st century and it's the microwave age. And people don't want to wait for things that can be done within seconds. Why is there this necessity for somebody to have to go to their ward to go and pick up, to finish the registration? Can the ward also be online? Is there something that
online.
You shared?
It's online.
No,
okay. The link we have developed now, like I said, we've done the pilot with Imo, Kogi, and Bayelsa. You know, membership of political party is domiciled at the ward level.
Yes.
You don't join the party at the state level, nor at the national level. At that level, it becomes a representative. How do I put it now? It becomes a representation of one stage and another. Where party participation is really at the ward level, because that's where you have ward meetings, all the locals, everybody will sit together and participate at that level. By the time you leave the ward level and you move to local government level, you no longer have all members of the ward participating. It is reduced to delegation. Okay. It is only the executives, probably the chairman and secretary from a ward, that becomes representative of that ward at the local level. And from the local level, representative from the local level becomes representative of that local government in the states, national. So participation in political activities really is at the ward level. And all the constitution of all parties, whether Labour Party, PDP, name it, provides that membership of a political party is domiciled at the ward. But because we this is the era of electronics, the era of where we can easily do some of these things easily. And that's why we have this link that takes you to your ward. Wherever you are, you can still register and participate in party activities wherever you are. But that participation will be domiciled at the ward.
I hear you, Chairman. But so for me, this is where I'm coming from, to say, how can it just be done? Do you still have to go and collect your the card from that? Can't you just do everything online? Maybe your card is sent to you. Because I see where they're saying you have to finish up the registration at the ward level. I understand the importance of the ward level, but can't you have all of that system of the ward level also online, so that I could just do everything and then
it's online.
Okay, it's so you don't have to go to the office to collect anything.
No, you don't have to. Just fill, once you complete your registration online, from the back end, your name will be in the ward register in your ward. And so whenever we need the ward register, we print it out from our back end and send to the ward. If we need a hard copy, all we need to do is to go to the National Secretariat, print out the ward register and send to the ward. That is what we have developed. It's very unique, Aisha, I can show you.
Oh.
Yes, what is available now is that of Imo, Bayelsa, and Kogi. The one for the other states within the next 1 week. It will be made available. It's a promise, and I will not go back on that promise. I will send it to Aisha. I will send it to all our platforms, and you'll be able to join. In fact, the constitution of the party provides that every 3 years or every 4 years, we should have membership revalidation.
Okay.
That membership revalidation gives both old and new members the opportunity to revalidate their membership. And as soon as we develop this app, in fact, we have released the funding for it, and work is in progress. In another 1 week, it will be available. To be available and to be shared. So the intention is to make it easy, to make participation very easy. And I can assure you that you don't need to go to your ward to complete that process. You can do it online, and your name will be in the ward register.
That's great news. That's amazing news. So that's development from the last time where you had to. So it makes things easy. So ladies and gentlemen, if you want to join Labour Party, no more excuses. Just go ahead and do it.
Those in Imo, those from Imo, Bayelsa, and Kogi, I can share the link right here.
Okay. Oh, okay. So please do send the link to me on my. Yes, you can also share it here. Let them share it here also, and also send it to my WhatsApp, or I can copy it here, and so that those on YouTube, because they're already saying that we are leaving them out of the conversation, and that's where the main audience are. Thank you so much, and it's really been interesting hearing this. Please, we'll begin to take questions now. If you want to speak, raise up your hands. In the meantime, we have certain questions on the chat box. Like one here says, "Good day, everyone. Please, my able and capable chairman, what are you going to do to those state chairmen that sabotage our elections?"
Well, that's why they are already fighting. You can see the fight, the razzmatazz, the razzmatazz and the melodrama that you see. In Rivers, for instance, with what Wike did to us, who openly came out and rigged our election for APC, the national vice chairman, South, and the state chairman, a week later, went and endorsed Wike's candidate. And we didn't waste time. We dissolved that executive immediately. And that is some of the fight that you see that they are fighting with. So those who were in the secretariat who said they are going to do this and do that is also part of the fight from there. You also saw what people did in Ogun State when they went to endorse APC and PDP. You saw what we did in Ogun State. We didn't waste time. We also dissolved the executive in Ogun State. Today, we are taking stock of those states where we had several sabotage. I can assure you that a lot of disciplinary action will be taken. Beyond the issue of disciplinary action, the party generally will need a lot of votes. We need to rebrand the party. We need to re-energize it. We need to bring in new people on board with capacity, with people with proactiveness. We need to rejig the party. We need to strengthen it for the challenges ahead of us. And therefore, obviously, we are going to do a lot of things in order to make the party to be a very strong, vibrant opposition political party.
Thank you so much, Chairman. I see Victor Imagbe. Your hand is up. I think I'll bring you on before I take in, before I read the next questions. Go ahead, please. Kindly unmute yourself.
Okay. Thank you, Aisha.
You're welcome.
My question is just straight to the chairman. Thank you, sir, for all your effort. Like when I'm calling from Texas in the US. So when Peter Obi visited US,
would you like to share your video?
Okay, let me try.
We can't see your face.
You can't see my face. Okay, maybe my camera is close.
Okay, yeah.
Can you see me now? Okay.
Yes, we can see you now.
Yeah. Thank you, sir, very much, Mr. Chairman and Aisha. Like when Mr. Peter Obi came to Texas, I was there and I told him that because by privilege, I've worked in Dangote for 5 years, I worked in the bank for 9 years. So I have a lot of friends. So I make my calls, I make my personal, calls before the election, which I always do every year. And I told him that he winning the election was not in doubt. I know he has already won the election because I know some people, many people that were, addicted.
Victor, you will need to get to that question.
Okay. The question is this: in as much as there's a petition before the tribunal, and you know what it is, it's either here or there, because we already have Labour Party already have a huge achievement so far, because we already have one governor, you have 34 federal members, you have about 68 state of assembly. So what is the party doing to ensure that, because I understand the Nigeria factor, to ensure that these people that have been elected on the platform of Labour Party, the light is on them, so that they won't go to the house tomorrow and they start decamping tomorrow, hearing that decamping to APC, they decamping to PDP. That will be another setback. So what is the party putting in place to ensure that these people are followed up, so that even if they are there, if they are not having their majority, let them have their say and stay there. Then the next 4 years, another is still coming. So from that platform now, they can no longer say that Labour Party don't have a structure. From there, we can pick it up from there. So what is the party doing in respect of those people that have been elected?
Well, what we have done is to engage them. And it will interest you to note that we've had over 2, 3, 4 meetings with them. We have had dinner together, where we have always hammered on the point that they must realize that they rode on the platform of the people, they rode on the back of the people. And therefore, whatever the people want is what they must do in the assembly. I have constantly reminded them that in all my engagement with them, I've always said so. I've always insisted on it. We intend to have a retreat. I think that retreat will hold on the 22nd of May, shortly before the house is proclaimed. We are going to constantly be having a monthly meeting with them. We are going to give them we are going to be, how do I put it now, a source of reservoir of knowledge to them. We are going to make them unique. We are going to be ahead of them. Every government policy that is good, we are going to commend it. Anyone that is not good, we are going to criticize it and put it on the table. We are going to engage them, we won't leave them. Having said all of this, the Electoral Act now does not actually allow people to defect. When you defect, the seat is declared vacant and the party is free to bring a replacement. But what is most important is for us to continue to engage them, carry them along in all our decisions, and give them that sense of belonging. And most importantly, what I have told them is that 4 years is not forever. In a short while, 4 years will come, and the day of reckoning will come. There's always a payback time, and the payback time is usually not a very long time. And therefore, for us, I believe that those that have been elected under this platform are those who ordinarily wouldn't have been elected if not for the wishes and aspirations of the people. They rode on the back of a lot of people who won under the platform of Labour Party. If it were business as usual, they would not have won that election. For now, they are very conscious of it. They believe it. And for me as national chairman, I will continue to reiterate it. Any engagement I have, any opportunity I have to discuss with them, I will always mention it and make it categorically clear that they must be on the part of the people. What is even more, APC is diminishing, PDP is diminishing. PDP and APC is no longer fashionable. The fashionable party now is Labour Party. And therefore, any person leaving Labour Party for any other party is embarking on a journey of no return at the end of that political career. And I don't think that for these young ones that have rolled on the back of the people to be in the house will embark on a journey of no return.
Thank you so much, Chairman, for that. And I think, Victor, your question has really been answered. And so thank you. Before I go on and call in another person, Onyeka, I think you're next online, but just hold on a moment. There's a question here that says, someone is asking, how do you screen who registers online? How do you make sure imposters don't register? And then there's another question here that says, Chairman, why are we still doing delegate primaries? Why can't we have everyone vote at the ward level and send results to state for collation? That way, there will be removal of dollar influence. But before you answer, Chairman, it's just to add to what the question asked by the last person, to say citizens have a very key role to also play. Citizens have to occupy their office of the citizen for them to ensure that people who are voted into office don't go there and suddenly begin to abandon offices. And I think one of the things I've seen about those who support Labour Party and members of the obedient movement is that they have been telling those who have been put into voted in that, look, if you go in there and begin to do anyhow, we will recall you back, or the next time you won't win the election. So I think those are things that really citizens should also focus on. So on this question on how do you screen who registers online, let me just reframe it again. Do you have a right to stop anybody from registering?
Well, that becomes a challenge, because when you also liberalize the process, it comes with its challenges. Obviously, those who are domiciled in the ward, we really know those who will really participate, because truly speaking, participation is done at the ward level. If, for instance, you are going to have an election in Ward 2, in my place, for instance, it means that you have to go to your ward to go and participate. And because it's a small gathering, so it's a micro gathering of people, they know themselves and they know those who are. So at the ward level, they will be able to screen themselves out. But at this stage where registration is open, it becomes difficult to screen people out of it. It's a challenge that we may need to face. But for now, I believe that when we get to that bridge, we also cross it. It's an evolutionary process, and as we evolve, we begin to find solutions to the challenges that comes with our own development. And so for now, we are happy that we are able to liberalize the process of joining the party. Let it be free, and let's see the challenges that will come with it. Whatever challenges comes with it, obviously, we will deal with it.
Okay. So before you go to the other question, this one relates to it. Someone is asking, can people in diaspora be card-carrying members?
Yes, obviously.
Nigerians in diaspora.
Obviously, once with the registration that is done, with the portal that is open now, you can actually join from wherever you are, be a card-carrying member. It's just that probably when it's time for participation at the ward level, you may need to find a way to participate. But like I said, as we move on, we begin to the challenges that comes with it, we'll be able to deal with it. So it's allowed, wherever you are in the ward, you should be able to register and be a card carrier.
Okay, thank you so much. Onyeka, please go ahead with your question. You have 2 minutes. Also put on your video. You can unmute now.
Thank you very much, Aisha, for organizing this session. So my question, I have 2 minutes, so I have to be very brief. My question actually borders on the compliance and governance structure or framework of the Labour Party to ensure that the Labour Party is able to carry out internal party democracy, such that people are able to understand and identify what the Labour Party stands for in terms of their ideology. And so, for example, if there's a state governor in a particular state who is elected on the platform of the Labour Party. What are the citizens of that state expected to see with respect to issues bordering around healthcare, education, for example, human capital development? What is it that, once a Labour Party person is in power, the people are able to expect, clearly across board, understand what to expect? And so my question borders around the compliance and governance structure and framework to ensure that Labour Party is able to identify core ideology that people can identify with. So that's my question.
Okay, thank you so much. I think let's take a bit of more questions, Mr. Chairman, so that you'll be able to take in Abraham. Abraham, please unmute yourself.
Hello, Aisha, how you doing? Good.
I'm doing great.
Good evening, Barrister Julius Abure. How you doing today?
He's doing great. Can you put on your video, please, so that we add who you're talking to?
Hello, how you doing?
We're doing great. Well done. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just have a few questions. I know the distraction is about the assault by this Lamidi Apapa of a man. I'm not really going to go into Lamidi Apapa because I think he's a joker. It's just a distraction. And so I'm not going to worry about that. I have two questions, sir. The first one is concerned. I read through this evil constitution, and even in the constitution, I saw that there was a provision that says there can be televised hearings if it's about public interest and public trust. I just want to find out what is the Labour Party doing about that, trying to really get cameras in there. And if there are no cameras in there, can we get a stenographer in there to get the notes and we turn it into a graphic version with drawings, you feel me? Like that's like an end around. I don't know if you guys can think about that, but either way, there needs to be transparency in that process. And my second question is the area of media, because I believe there's gonna be more propaganda coming from, you know who they're coming from. So we don't need to mention their name. I believe there's gonna be more propaganda. I wonder what you're doing to tool your media, because these past two scandals that broke out, the videotape recording and even this Lamidi Apapa nonsense, the response time was a little bit slow, to be honest. The misinformation already festered, and even this Wale Soyinka stuff, like the response was slow. You were allowed to get oxygen before it was challenged. So what can we do to curtail that, nib it in the stem in a quick manner before it disseminates? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Abraham. Well within your time. I think I'll take in one more person. I think the Lord's favor, I think, is the hand that is up next. Can you unmute yourself, please? The Lord's favor, can you unmute yourself? Okay, we'll go on to Samuel if he is not ready. Samuel, kindly unmute yourself. Hello, Samuel. Okay, I don't know whether it's a bit of a technical this thing. Mr. Chairman, can you hear me, please?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay, yeah, let's take on the questions. Do you need me to repeat them? We have the first one on the ideology of the Labour.
Okay. I think I have them.
Okay then.
Well, for us in the Labour Party, we have a broad-based programs which states, governors, and other structure of government can pick from, taking into cognizance the peculiarity of those states, taking into account the needs of the people. Of course, you know that the needs of the people vary from state to state and from community to community. A community may need healthcare, another one may need water, and so on and so forth. And therefore, our major concern is to have people in government who works for the people, who meets the aspirations and the needs of the people in terms of health, in terms of education, in terms of moving people out of poverty, out of hunger and unemployment, lifting people from poverty, and so on and so forth. So it's a conglomeration of programs which meet the needs and aspirations of the people. What is there required is for any state where we are in government to now distill the needs of the people and work for the people. And so the ideology of the party is clear. It's a party for social democracy. And what it stands for is welfare for the people. We believe very strongly that any policy that does not meet the needs and aspirations of the people ought not to be a government policy. Every government policy must revolve around the people. It must be such that gives maximum security and welfare to the citizens of the people. And therefore, the people is key in every government policy. Wherever Labour Party is in government, the people will be key. The people will be the focal points of every government policy. That is why you see that the logo of the party is Papa, Mama, Pikin in a wheel. The wheel represents government, while the people that you see there, which is the family, represents the people of Nigeria. So it means that every government policy, every government workings must revolve around the people.
Thank you so much. So there's a question here from someone on YouTube that is talking about, there has been a lot of allegation of a forgery from the Lamidi, is it Lamidi person who is now saying that he is the chairman of the Labour Party. And they're asking, forgery is a weighty allegation. So what is this all about?
Well, the issue of forgery doesn't even arise yet. The man in question was actually visited my office in company of some young men, and they pleaded with me to give them assignments to do. Aisha, you know, as is usual with me, I like encouraging people to, especially young people, to participate in party activities and all of that. And that was how the young man who is claiming that his signature was forged visited my office. And so in their introduction, he told me he was from Ebonyi State. And therefore, and as at that time, we had no strong party structure in Ebonyi. So I asked him, can you be the chairman of Ebonyi State? He agreed. And so that was how I appointed him as the state chairman of Ebonyi State. And he never came to the party with the intention of running for governorship election. When it was time for primaries, to be conducted in Ebonyi, and we didn't have anybody to run for the governorship of Ebonyi State, I requested him to do the primaries and put his name as the governorship candidate to give room for substitution of candidates when the time comes. Because this obedient movement was just about starting in the party. And we foresaw a situation where we are going to have influx of people who have capacity, who will be able to win election. And so that was how he put his name and filled all the nomination forms which were uploaded in INEC. When it was time to withdraw, he also withdrew his candidacy for the governorship. And the party went ahead to conduct primaries where the governorship candidate emerged. Shortly after, he came back and said he had a different person in mind that he wanted to become the governorship candidate. Because of this platform, it will not be fair for me to put their names on the table.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. We don't want the, like the personal details or the minute details, just the generalized version.
Yes. So he brought another person and said, it is that candidate that he wants. And we said, no, you cannot dictate to the party who becomes the candidate of the party. And so, and that was how it played out for him. And then he turned around to say that his signature was forged. But we thought it was a child's play. We didn't really take it seriously because we thought it was just the normal disagreements within political parties that we can resolve. Up till this time, I didn't take it seriously until when I saw that it was taking a new dimension. Anyway, we have filed our responses. The order that is purportedly given, I believe, was done in error because for an ex parte application, once an ex parte application contains a criminal element, the other party ought to be on notice in order to file his defense. But of course, as a lawyer, it will not be fair for me to cast aspersions at the judiciary at this stage.
Yeah.
But to say that I believe that the judge was misled into making that ex parte order. I believe it was done in error, and we have put all necessary machinery in place to see that it is vacated. We actually anticipated some of these things, and immediately they brought that notice of suspension. We immediately filed our cases in Benin High Court, and we equally got an order restraining them from carrying out the activities they wanted to carry out. It will shock you to note that all those people that were paraded, who said they were from my ward, are unknown to me. They are neither my ward chairman, nor my ward secretary, nor members of my ward. And trust the obedient family. Do you know what they did?
Yeah.
The faces of those people were matched with their phone numbers and their addresses. And today, we have the details of those people. In fact, one of them used fake name in that their, what's it called now? In that their media. But the obedient movement fished out their true names with their photograph. The obedient movement have traced them to their family homes in their village. So we already know their identity, their true names. And we have written to Commissioner of Police because what they have done is criminal impersonation, and we will ensure that they are brought to justice. So for me, we'll deal with it, we'll face the challenges. For God's sake, what is here is eternal party democracy, and it's an eternal party matter, it's an eternal matter of a political party. And the Supreme Court have heard severally that eternal matter of a political party is not a subject matter for the courts. And therefore, I believe that the judge was misled to give me that order. Most importantly, is that we also have an order which restrained them from doing what they have done. A matter ordinarily that would have been a family matter, where powerful people are now involved in it, especially where APC wants to use it as a basis to enter the party because of the fortunes of the party. You can be rest assured that that's why it's like this. But we'll deal with it. We're rising to the challenges and we'll deal with it.
Oh, okay. So coming back to the question of Abraham on the issue of the televised hearing of the petition, is there anything that the party is doing about that? And he was asking if they can get a stenographer. I don't think or anyone that could just, or cartoonists or people that will just show what is happening so as to keep people updated. And then
I think it's an area we need to work on. We have not really about our minds to that. Probably we'll make arrangement to see how we can televise it live and stream the program live from the courts. I'm sure, but I can assure you that television stations will be in the station or will be in the court while the proceedings begins. But let me assure you that we will make arrangements to see how we can have a live stream of the court proceedings brought to people directly.
Okay. And the next thing also was the issue of the media presence, and that response was quite low. A lot of remember the Minister of Labor, I think it was the state for states, that's Festus Keyamo, did mention that they were going to do propaganda for propaganda. And I always say, like in the movement, we don't have propaganda. We use truth to fight propaganda, but they've come out openly to talk about the fact that they are going to be doing a lot of propaganda, smearing, fake news, and all of that. And it seems the response from Labour Party is quite low. It's not as quick as it should be, and there's some of these lies and propaganda actually gain oxygen before there's a response that comes from it.
Well, like I said, we had expected this, and of course, you know that this last one that came was actually public holiday. I was already in Edo. A lot of people had already traveled before this one came up. I agree with you that our response is slow. It's a major area, a major concern that a lot of people have raised. Within the next 1 or 2 days, we are going to have a strong response team that will be able to respond to these issues as they arise. So it's one of the challenges that is noted, and I want to assure you that we take steps to see that our responses to be apt and swift this time around. Yes, I agree that we've had slow response. We'll deal with it.
Okay,
the matter
Abraham,
we need to take seriously.
Thank you so much. Abraham, you did get that. Did you hear that response? And they said they're going to work on it. They do agree with you, because the easiest way of solving any problem is, first of all, to admit that there's a problem. And the moment you admit that there's a problem, you take responsibility for it, and then you begin to find ways to make it work. Mr. Adetunji, go ahead, please, and unmute yourself. Let's have you next. I think there were some people that had a little bit of a network issue. Please try again and raise up your hand so that we'll be able to bring you in. Go ahead, Mr.
Thank you very much, Aisha, and thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm calling from Dublin. Just to give a background, I came to Nigeria. I actually registered to vote, and I voted LP and also canvassed. I represent a group here for obedience, and we contributed our money also on the platform, the obedience something platform. Now, when I got to Nigeria, I realized that actually that there seems to be quite some, there was this town hall app that I downloaded, and I found that app to be like something that would have been a game changer, because everybody will have been able to upload their results from the world level. But that app, I don't know what happened to it. It was not working. And to be honest, I realized that we have challenges at most of the wards, like the ward E3 in Ikorodu, where I actually joined. The structure is not really very great, but we are working on it right now. And my question basically is this: that can that kind of town hall app, be further strengthened, to give structure, to give organization to the party, such that even at the world level, people can participate and things can get moving? Because it seems as if, without that kind of town hall app, I don't know who created it. I think it was supposed to be used for the campaign. If it can be strengthened, and it can help to structure the party very well, and a lot of things can get moving. And again, I hope that Arabanbi will be expelled, and including Apapa. Both of them, I hope the NEC will meet and expel the two from the party, not only, and all the cohorts, because they are really causing trouble. And I hope that everything will, the dust will settle soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I want to appreciate you for your contribution, your financial contribution, and all that you did for the party. I wish that you find a way to reach me privately so that we can look at the app, further discussion on it. If it is what will be useful to enhance participation of people now, so that we can look at it and see how we can develop it. I am aware that we had several apps developed by several persons, so I wouldn't know the one you are talking about now. So I wish that you are able to chat me up privately so that we can look at it, the one you are recommending, and let's see if it is what we can continue to work it in order to enhance and develop the party the more.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Adetuji, you can send him a private message. It's on the town hall app. I think someone is saying here, and I think which is the one that Valentino Zibo and others came together to develop, and so it's really some things that it should be.
I will liaise with Bar and see how we can work together to develop it and make it domiciled in the party. We'll take it over, I can assure you.
Okay. Lost Favor, I see you're back. You were supposed to speak before, but I don't know, network issue. I'm asking you to unmute again. I don't know whether it's not allowing me to unmute. If you can hear me, Lost Favor, go ahead and unmute yourself. No, I think it's not working. Let me come back to Joe Williams. Joe Williams, you're next, please. Good
evening, Aisha.
Good evening, and welcome.
And good evening, Barrister Julius.
Good evening. I'm happy to see you.
Yeah, my name is Joe Williams. I live here in Germany. I have one concern and two questions I would like to bring. One, I'm from Imo State, and there is this army, I think a retired army general, that's now contesting among the candidates for the state governorship. Some people are raising concerns about him because, in Igbo land, the issue of Biafra is a very sensitive issue for the citizen. And they are saying that he was the military that led the Python dance, the Operation Python dance that killed Igbo people. I don't believe in the Biafra stuff, but that is a very sensitive issue. Because if for any reason he emerges as a Labour candidate governorship, his candidacy is going to be unpopular. So you will have to take that into consideration. And number two, before the election was done, I tried to reach I got the number of the state chairman somehow. I tried to call him severally, he doesn't pick. I sent him messages, he doesn't pick, because there was a time they were...
Mr. Joe, your time is almost up, so just round up.
Okay, there was a time they were asking for some donations. I tried to reach him, I couldn't. And now I have registered online, and I can be able to reach the chairman of Ikedu local government. I've tried to reach him, he doesn't pick, he doesn't reply. So can you people try to make your agents or people in charge be able to respond to people when they contact them? So it can be a little bit easy for us.
Okay, thank you so much for that. I think the time is up now. Yeah,
Yes.
thank you. So those are two questions. Let's take in more questions and then we'll answer them. Or Chairman, would you want to answer them one after the other?
No, it depends on what you want.
Okay, I think
whichever way you want to do it, I'm available.
okay. Okay, can we have Ayotte? Ayotte. Kindly unmute yourself so that Mr. Joe, we'll come back to we'll answer when he comes to answer. Thank you so much.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Chairman and Aisha Yusuf. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah,
Good evening.
Good evening. I just want to ask, I have two questions that borders on, though I live in Italy, and I'm just seeing all that is happening in my father's land. But my question is, I know you answered this question a few moments ago, but I just want to ask.
But why are you asking it again if it's been answered?
No, I just want to ask something to on the manifesto. Because the problem we have in our land is the rule of law and obedience to laws. Now, the question is, what is the manifesto of Labour Party towards the rules of law in which the common man can obey simple instructions? Also, secondly, the role, anyway, let me just stop on that question. That is all.
Okay, thank you so much. Emmanuel, I can't see the rest of the surname. Yeah, you're next, please go ahead. And I think after this, we'll answer a question before we come back to Erastus.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I want to start from, good evening all. Nice to be on this forum today and it's nice also to have the chairman of the party on board. Few questions I have and concerns. What is very common with political parties in Nigeria is internal democracy. And I hope the Labour Party is working to make their operations transparent and ensure, guarantee internal democracy, because that's what destroys political parties. Then the next thing is the chairman has just explained that there's a process for electronic membership registration. That's commendable. But the first question is have you people, does your constitution, does the party constitution support that method of membership registration so that you don't do everything in futility? Take note of that. Then if you are going to go that route, I've said it's commendable. I hope it's going to be very transparent. You talked about having access to the back end. I hope names will not be smuggled through the back end when it's time for primary elections. Here's my advice. Let the membership, if I'm registering, and I want to paint the picture now, if I'm registering as a member, I should be able to know, even if I don't have their details, I'll be able to know the number of people, the people that, with all members of the particular ward that I'm registered in. I should be able to see them, I should be able to see their detail, at least their name, whatever it is no matter how you choose to present it, but I should be able to know that this person is in the same ward with me. This person will have an idea of the number of everyone in that ward. So that's a measure of transparency that should not be toiled with. Take note of that. And it should be so transparent. Should be so transparent that
okay.
I should then the last thing. I hope there's going to be a form of contribution, no matter how small, so that we have money bags. We're not, because if you have 2 million.
Okay, I think I've gotten that part. You've exceeded the 2 minutes and they're quite enough, but I think I've gotten that. Thank you so much. for those questions that you've raised. So, Mr. Chairman, over to you.
Well, ordinarily, I wouldn't have loved to make comments about the candidate in Imo State. Imo State governorship primaries and election is becoming or is likely going to be very contentious. In fact, it's already contentious, and I wouldn't ordinarily would like to discuss one of the candidates, one of the primaries, one of the aspirants in the party. But for now, I can simply say that the general wasn't the one who carried out the Python dance. It has been going round, and we have done our verification, and he is not the general who led the Python dance. I probably just feel that I needed to make that clarification for the records. I will stop here. I wouldn't want to discuss candidates so that you don't say I have already endorsed a candidate.
Let me just come in, Mr. Chairman, because I think this is a bit of an issue that will need a bit of clarification. I think one of the things we must be, as citizens, we must be very mindful of is that we do not become the people that we are fighting. And one of that's the tool of oppression is on the hands of everyone, and everybody can use it. If you're coming today to say a certain person shouldn't run for office or something, or shouldn't because he participated in the Python, that's even if he's the person who participated, he was doing that as the job that he was doing, yeah? And then it's for the people, and that's why there are delegates that are going to vote. These are all the things that they are going to check, whether it's someone that the people would like, they want competence, character, capacity, and all of that. But if we begin to say, okay, begin to be like, how do I put it now? Sort of like change people. I don't like this person's face. I don't like that person's face. I don't like this one. I mean, that's going to be a problem, because where do you stop? Where if you don't like somebody, or there's somebody who has done something, you don't like them, then you say, okay, they shouldn't run for office. I think everybody has a right to run for office as long as they've not done a crime and all of those things. And so let the thing run its course. So the chairman, if we are asking for internal party democracy and we are asking for rule of law, there's no how we are putting it to the chairman that he should be sort of like stopping certain candidates from running. I don't even know who this Major General is. I don't even know his name or anything, but I think sometimes it's hard. There are people that ordinarily you don't like them. You don't want them to do, but the law allows them to participate in certain things, and we must allow that to happen. I just felt I needed to add that.
Thank you, Aisha.
So on the issue, the other question he asked was on the issue of communication, that some members, he tried reaching the chairman of the part of a state chairman, they weren't answering and all of that. So are there places where you have emails or something that people can send messages to, or certain numbers where people are employed to answer those phone numbers and all of that?
No, we don't have people employed to carry that assignment. Probably now that the party is becoming bigger and sources of funding I'm sure will increase, because those elected under the platform of the party now, I want to believe that they will have a way of supporting the party. Probably will be able to correct some of these shortcomings. Like I said, we are going to rejig the party. We are going to develop it. We are going to bring in more capable hands to be able to help us tackle some of these challenges that we have. But I'm shocked that the state chairman did not pick and didn't return the call as at that time. So I can assure you that we are going to improve on our operations. Wherever we feel that we are not doing well, we are going to improve on it.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Then somebody talked about internal party democracy, talked about the manifesto, talked about the rule of law and all that. I've spoken a bit on the issue of manifesto. I said we have a long range of programs. It is now left for those in the state to look at the needs of their people and adopt what they can adopt and find welfare for the people of their state. Like I said, the party philosophy and programs summarily deals with the welfare and well-being of the people. Everything about the party in government and outside government is about the people. So whatever we give the people maximum comfort is what the party stands for. Our rules, yes, for party, internal party democracy, I think I also have answered this question, but
Yeah,
I'll just
you have.
throw light on it, that if we have criticized PDP and APC for lack of internal party democracy, we as a new face or a new generation of political parties who have the obedience driving this process, and a lot of young people driving the growth and development of the party, I don't think we should live below expectation.
Mm-hmm.
I must assure you that under my leadership, there will be internal party democracy, there will be transparency, there will be accountability. Whatever we are going to do will be open. I want to call on him that he should keep an eye of how we are going to conduct the Igbo primaries, Bayelsa, and Kogi primaries. It's going to be transparent, it's going to be open, and the wishes and aspirations of the people will hold sway in those primaries.
Thank you so much.
And then finally, he talked about whether the party constitution supports the e-registration. Well, the party constitution is silent on that. Mm-hmm. And once the law is silent, the discretion comes in.
Yeah.
And so it's in line with our guidelines, which we have developed. When it's time for amendment of the constitution, we can include that. But the constitution as of now is silent. And once there's silence on the part of the constitution, on the part of any law, the discretionary powers comes in. And so we have exercised that discretion, and it's a discretion that is well dispensed. So I don't think we are going to have issues with it. A lot of party members have hailed it. A lot of people outside the country have been hailing it. And I want to assure you that when the ones for the other states are out, you'll see that it's something that is very unique, and a lot of people will be happy with
it. That's great. Thank you so much. So he
and
also mentioned
I think he talked about contribution.
Huh?
Yes, he talked about contribution. He talked about smuggling names.
Yes,
that's the membership register and all of that. When there are genuine concerns that he has raised, of course, the PDP experience and APC experience, every politician has become a suspect. So, but I can assure you that we will not smuggle any. I doubt if it's possible to even smuggle names into that platform. But I can assure you that under my leadership, we'll be very transparent, and we'll try to set the record straight. We'll try to prove to Nigerians that we still have some Nigerians who are dependable, who are trustworthy, who will not cut corners, but will get things done properly. I can assure you of that. We honestly want to make a difference in politics. And we will not just profess it, we'll provide leadership by example. And then for the contribution, the party account is available. If there's any contribution to make, the account number of the party is there. If you want to make it open, you can make it open. If you want to do it quietly, secretly, you can also do it in whatever way you feel that you can contribute to the growth and development of the party. Will be fine. So we appreciate any contribution that is being made, and we'll take it from there.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think one thing also is to say, why is it that party members, they don't pay some membership fee or something?
Well, there's membership fee of 100 naira monthly dues. But you see, the
100 naira in this generation, not 1,000 naira monthly due.
Do they even pay the 100 naira?
No, because so this is the thing,
the truth of the matter is, our polity has been so destroyed by PDP and APC. People in the world are used to a situation where political parties give them money to attend it. When you attend meeting in the world, it is expected that you buy groundnuts, you buy biscuits, buy mineral and drinks for people who come to attend those meetings. It is also expected that you find something for them to transport home. If you don't do that, you won't find people to attend meetings again. So in such a scenario, such people, you now tell them to come and pay for meetings. So Aisha is pretty difficult. So what we can do is to liberalize this process. Let us use what we have to get what we want. And we'll begin to take it from there.
Yeah, I totally understand with you, but I think, and this is for me speaking to, this is not just directed at Chairman, but it's directed at all of us to say, if we really want things to change, we also need to begin to do the needful. Places where people are members and they are not ready to pay their membership, the first of all, 100 naira a month is too small. At least it should be 1,000 naira a month. That's 12,000 naira from everyone. So it's not at well, it's a month. And there should be sort of like a penalty. If you don't pay maybe in 6 months, you automatically, your name will be deregistered. Such way, the party is able to have monies. I remember, Chairman, you're just talking about the fact that you've done this link, created a website or have people to register. All of these things cost money. And if we continue to just wait and depend on the people who have been elected or people who are benefactors to begin to bring monies for parties to run, that's how you begin to have people who are not the power brokers and begin to
they become godfathers.
Yes, they have to be godfathers because they are using their money. And it's for right. Me, I'm a very pragmatic person, and we have to say things the way they are. If we are refusing to bring 1,000, those who are members are refusing to bring 1,000 a month, and then the person that is spending millions, how are you coming to say that you people are going to have equal rights? How is it equal? When it comes to financial, you are not equal. It is now when it comes to you getting something. So these are the things. If we need to do, where people expect that if they come to meetings that they are going to be fed, it's automatic without them putting anything, we need to face that away if we really want the policies that will begin to bring good governance, accountability, and transparency. Otherwise, we'll continue to have what we had before, where people just get into office and steal as much money as they can because they will need to use it for their parties, they will need to use it for people around them, and then they will need to use it to pay their way in. And so these are some of the sacrifices that, in a way, needs to be made as we go on this world. It's a very major issue. Like when the Imo State gubernatorial form became 25 million. A lot of people, people were. I was shocked. I remember we had that conversation with you, Chairman. I'll call her like, Chairman, what's going on? How is this? And one of the things that you said then that stayed with me was you said, this is how the party is able to do a lot of things that they do. It's from this whole this thing. So I think as citizens also, we must devise a way of ensuring that parties also have their monies that they are going to use, especially Labour Party, for those who are going to be members of that Labour Party. Otherwise, we'll continue to have same as what we have before. That's all I just wanted.
Aisha,
yes,
let me be frank with you. Majority of our people are poor. Some people in the rural areas will attend meetings because of that biscuit and granola they are coming. If you really go to the world, the interior, I'm not talking of the urban center, where people are really, really poor, you see that it is very difficult. 100 naira, even this 100 naira. But I agree with you perfectly that these monies are needed, no doubt. But that's why I said we put it on the front burner that contribution is important, is necessary. And let us see how we can get people to make this contribution. But it's pretty difficult at the rural level.
Yeah, I agree. It's quite difficult. It's not even just rural area, even in the city, because a lot of people feel it's a waste. People don't, when it comes to membership dues and all of that, people really don't respect it as much as they should. But the issue for me is this: do you just want numbers in a political party, just carry, or do you want people who are active and contributing to the political party in a way? Because you can actually be a citizen without being a political party member and still be able to vote, still be able to do. That's why nobody charge anybody for voting. So maybe those are places where we can have people there doing all of that. But as long as someone is making that deliberate effort to say, I want to be a member, then there should be a contribution that is coming from that person. And 1,000 naira, it's not too large. A money 100 naira, I don't know where to come to that. It's less than it's that's like 3 naira every day.
Yeah,
even
right.
if 5 naira the person is keeping, 1,000 naira divided by 30. It's not too harsh, no matter how we say, oh, some people don't have, because otherwise these are the same people that we wait. They can't pay 100 naira. The people who have big money will go and pack them because they give them money. They will now make them delegates, and then they will come and be voting on behalf of other people. But anyway, this could be, maybe might be a conversation we will have for
Aisha, you are right. It's a major challenge that we have. It's a major challenge, and I believe that as we move on, we're able to deal with it. Rome was not built in a day. We have to go gradually, and that's why I said that we use what we have to get what we want. If Peter Obi had won presidency, or let me put it in a better form, if not that our mandate was stolen, it would have been the beginning of a new era in Nigeria. All what you are saying now would have been, have gradually been preaching it, and they pull people out of poverty, and then you'll be able to entrench some of these ideas. You know, when people are generally poor, they are hungry, they have no job, it becomes difficult to do some of this. But I agree with you perfectly. It's a matter we need to interrogate. It's a matter we need to find a way around, because if you leave political parties to be sponsored by 1 or 2 persons, they become godfathers and begin to dictate. Who becomes the victim of it again and again? So it's actually like a vicious cycle. I must find a way of breaking out of that vicious cycle.
Thank you so much, Chairman. There's someone here, Stephen Okon, that just joined in late. Yes, they've already spoken about how to become a member. For those in diaspora, there's a link. You can just join online and register online up to the world level. So they're going to put that link out there. Chairman, did you send me that link?
No, I've not sent it.
Okay.
The one I can send to you now. The one I can send to you now is Bayelsa, Imo, and Kogi.
Okay, so Bayelsa, Imo, and Kogi are ready. The other ones will come up as they go on. So we'll share that link. I will share it, please, on either my page or my YouTube channel, and we'll get that out there. Let me come to you, Erastus. I hope I pronounced your name well. If I didn't pronounce it, no verse. Correct me, please. You can unmute. I knew you were here earlier, and then you dropped off. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Awesome. Good evening, everybody. Ms. Aisha, Yusuf, and the chairman of Labour Party. It's an honor to be here with you guys. I must commend your awesome job. I mean, Aisha, you are a great inspiration.
Amma, you use your 2 minutes, so you never asked.
Sorry, I beg. All right, so let me just take your point. Mr. Chairman, first question is to you. I mean, is there still hope? Because I'm a Rastas, by the way. I'm a medical doctor practicing in Grenada in the Caribbean. So we get information from all of these kind of conversations and things that you guys drop online. We don't know firsthand what's happening. Is there still hope of reclaiming the stolen mandate? That's one question. The other one would be to buttress on the point made earlier by Olatunji and the other guy who just spoke about the need to utilize what we have in the space now. I mean, Labour Party came on board and it became a movement because Labour Party used up the social media properly and the IT technologies available. And I think that all we're talking about transparency and improving funding can be really, we can achieve that very easily if we utilize IT. So this other guy that spoke about the, we call it the app that was formed by this guy, Vincent, I think we can elaborate on that app properly and create a platform where we have all registered members of Labour Party, like an app where everybody can interact. Even those who want to join can easily log on through that app and make joining Labour Party very easy and accessible. And where we can also have, interactions, and that will boost the transparency. That would foster communication, and the party can, naturally proliferate across the regions of Nigeria if we can utilize the IT properly. All right, I'm from Imo State, and I'm hoping to join Labour Party the moment Aisha drops that link. And I'm really in support of you guys, and I thank God on your behalf, because what you're doing, if nobody's doing it, then that means some of us will be left in a hole as far as Nigeria is concerned.
Thank you so much, Erastus. You actually did it within your 2 minutes, and that's great. So this is assignment for me now. They are asking for that link, so I will get that link and then I'll post it on this thing. So I'll take note of that. Thank you so much. Mr. Samuel, have you spoken before, or is it I've just keep seeing your? Hello, Mr. Samuel, go ahead. Except if you've spoken before and your hand is still up. Mr. Samuel Efeturi. Okay. Emmy. Hello, Emmy. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Samuel.
Yes. My respects to our noble, calm, soft-spoken, and incisive chairman, and all. I greatly appreciate all your sacrifice for our beloved. Chairman, I'm not expecting a public answer from you on this question, but somebody spoke earlier and said our reactions to certain of the attacks were very slow. Chairman, we are in a battle that is going to get fiercer and fiercer. I can assure you that. And one principle in every battle is you must use everything you have to fight. I have listed almost 15 fronts that the enemy is coming at you and all the team. But we are always reacting. I am asking, please, that we should go into our closet where we can develop a war strategy. We are in a serious battle. And I'm afraid my observation is that we are too sympathetic or too a bit careless. How can somebody invade a national headquarters of the party and loot things, carry things without any confrontation of any kind? I'm speaking to you very honestly. I don't want you to answer publicly, but you know where I'm going. I don't want us to assume too many things. The enemy is dogged. He is reckless. He is down to earth, ruthless, and will do anything to get himself across. So let us fight that way. I wish you the best, and I just pray that God will give you people wisdom and the ability. Use everybody that you have. You have many people. Use
Thank
everybody.
you, Mr. Samuel.
God bless you.
Amen, and you too. So that's the time. Apologies, I didn't tell you early enough that your time was coming. Emmy Otos. Go ahead, please. I'll just quickly take him. We have done about we are coming up to 2 hours now. I think it's 8 o'clock in Nigeria, right? Yep. I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So it's about 2 hours we've done. So we will be rounding up now. Normally, sometimes we do 3 hours, but I don't know whether our chairman, he has a lot of things to go ahead and do. Let's not keep him here too long. So Emmy, go ahead, please. Okay, Peter Nduka, go ahead and unmute yourself. I don't know what's going on. So all well? I'm asking you now to unmute yourself. Okay, yeah, okay, Peter, I've been able to do that. So Peter, go ahead.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Chairman.
Good evening.
Thank you so much. Good evening.
Well done.
Can you put on your video, please?
Okay, the place I am is actually
okay,
very
no,
dark.
if you can, no problem, it's okay.
Okay. Please, I want to use this opportunity to really appreciate all our effort. The area I wanted to ask little question was on the membership. Those that are registered online.
We will come back to you all well. Peter is speaking now.
Those that are registered online, how do they get a membership card? And do they have a database so far for members, whether online registered and manual registered? Because it's also high time we begin to have concrete database such that we had so many observations in the just concluded elections. And I know that in as much as it's still at a formative stage, so many lessons have been learned and it can only be improved upon. We need to really consolidate on our database to be able to be well established going forward. Just by way of comment, what's happening to the national executive is actually quite unpleasant, but I pray that we'll get over it and by the special grace of God. So I just want to use this opportunity to encourage every one of us, encourage the chairman, encourage Aisha and every other member of the ESCO that are actually in this struggle with selfless mind, because the major challenge we have is that we have had so many moles in our midst, which some of them were not so sensitive enough to dictate them and get rid of them early enough.
Okay,
I think that
you have 10 seconds now.
So I think I want to appreciate every one of. I asked a question with respect to membership card and those that are registered online.
Yeah, your questions have been noted.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, that's the time I'm going on. Thank you so much, everyone. I think I'm going to be a little bit more strict with time and whether to even reduce the 2 minutes because chairman needs to go. But let's take all well, Mbagu. Yeah, go ahead and unmute yourself again. Earlier, Peter picked up, so that's why we couldn't get to you. So it's your yeah, go ahead, sir.
Okay. Good evening, Aisha, and good evening, Aisha, and
good evening, sir. Go ahead.
My question is brief. It's just I'll take less than 2 minutes. Okay.
Go ahead.
One of the things, there are 2 things I want to point out. I'm almost going to sound like Samuel about the way that the Labour Party is managing their information. It's as if you guys as if you are defending yourself. You're not supposed to be defending because you have a serious case. You have a very legitimate case. And you don't allow people to put you at defense at all times. You're always fighting from behind. And that is very, very discouraging for those of us who are following you behind. I live in Houston. I left here. I came to Nigeria. I voted. I canvassed for votes. My polling booth, I made sure I delivered. That was a promise I made. I delivered my polling booth, my polling unit. And I came back here now. I'm listening to some of these things about forgery and all that. And you guys are not coming out forcefully to defend it. You are allowing yourselves to be distracted. It's not encouraging. You need to do something differently. You need to reorganize yourself and manage the information properly. This is a war. We are fighting for our lives. We are fighting for a new Nigeria. So you should not be apologetic to anybody. I will stop here.
Thank you so much for that. I think we'll take the final question for today, and that's from Innocent. There are no longer any hands up. And I think we're going to, we will stop here, and then we just have the closing remarks and all of that. So Innocent, go ahead. You will be our final. Casey, you're raising your hand now.
Yeah.
Innocent,
Hello.
go ahead.
Hello, Aisha. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Abure, for all the efforts you are putting to reclaim our mandate. Please, I have a question to ask, and that borders on the way LP is handling matters. LP should wake up. We that are in Diaspora are not happy with the way LP is doing things. They have to wake up and realize that this is a battle. We don't just sit down and be on the defense all the time. No, you have to wake up. I have been suggesting this. I have sent several messages to some of you who are in LP. You have to constitute a war room to handle APC. You need to start publishing all the mutilated IRF results on national media, national dailies, and on social media. Polling unit by polling unit, all those results that we have mutilated have to be brought to the open. Nigerians may not have the time to go through the IRF, but if you keep on bringing those results one after another, you bring the one that was mutilated side by side with the one that's the original. You publish them in the national dailies every now and then. That will expose APC corrupt practices, and that will put them on the defense. LP, please, should wake up. They're not happy. They should wake up and be on the offensive. We don't need to be a gentleman in this matter. We are dealing with people who are criminals. You have to wake up and handle them properly. Please, Aisha, I thank God that I'm doing this case. I'm just on my break. I said, let me quickly come and join this. I'm contribute this. At least let the chairman hear me and hear me well. You guys are sleeping. Wake up and be on the offensive. Please. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Innocent. You said, wake up, wake up. When chairman say me collect the money now, I no go bring money. I just remind me of this thing. Wake up, collect your money. And that's the main thing we're talking about. I said, unfortunately, I think that we'll make that our last question, except if chairman is open to adding other people. So chairman, back to you now. We have
somebody talked about having hope in reclaiming the mandate.
Yeah.
Well, there's hope. We believe that we'll reclaim the mandate with what we have put before the courts. We are very, very sure that the court is a court of justice, and therefore we believe that we'll be able to reclaim the mandate. Obviously, I will use this to answer the last question who talked about publishing of results. What we have put before the courts may not be good for us to also put in the public domain. But as we move on in the courts, and as soon as the court processes will start, people will begin to see what is there. Someone talked about the app, and that will make membership registration easy and so on. I believe that somebody raised this issue before.
Yeah.
And identified that it was that app that was developed by FAR. And I promised that I was going to liaise with him to see the workability of it and to see how we can harmonize it with what we have. Somebody talked about prompt response to issues, that we are sympathetic, we are always in the defensive, We'll try our best to be swift in most of our response, like I said before. Members of the public should also assist us with information where you have them in order to enhance some of what we are doing. I agree with you that it's a total warfare, and then we'll continue to do our best to fight the war. And I believe that we'll be able to win this war. What has played out in the past few days within the party and outside the party, no doubt have taken them to the cleaners. The people are the ultimate judge. And even the little man on the street, the little boy on the street, know that what is happening within the party is that is done and orchestrated by the APC. As we move on, we'll continue to develop more strategy and develop more skin as to how we'll be able to deal with the issues as they arise. Somebody talked about membership online, whether the cards will be made available. Yes. As soon as we conclude the membership revalidation that we are going to start, and members pay their monthly dues and pay the money for the cards, we'll print it and send to those people. But the registration will be open, everybody can register. But once you pay your monthly dues, and then you pay the fee for the card, then we issue the card immediately. Having a database, yes, I have just created a server. Labour Party now has a server. So a lot of all these databases will be integrated into the server, and every other thing will follow. Yes, I think all other things that were said is actually interrelated. Somebody said that we need to wake up, have a war room, and the rest of it. They are interrelated with what we've said before. I can assure Nigerians, I can assure all of you that we are ready for this task. Our response is so we feel that we don't need to go and start fighting. We just feel that we need to legally follow the due process and see how we can reclaim our mandate. But I can assure you that we'll do what we need to do. We'll do the needful to ensure that we claim this mandate and we'll defend ourselves and do what we need to do in order to keep the pace.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Chairman. It's really been an educating experience here with you. And like always, my chairman of chairmen, I think for the audience, apologies for those whom we are unable to take their questions now. He will need to move on. It's been over 2 hours already that we started the conversation. So I'll just ask Chairman any last word. You've answered questions, and I must say to you, you really made my work so much easier. I was trying, I was writing all the
Aisha, can I shock you?
Yeah.
Can I shock you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I shock you?
Yes.
I am speaking to you from my hospital bed. See my hands. I've been on admission for the past 3-4 days. I had to stop this drip to do this program.
That's crazy. And somehow, because I saw towards the end of, as you were talking, as if you were sort of like your energy was going down. That's why I said, like, normally we do 3 hours, like I'm stopping this. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. because I saw how much during the campaign. Remember, I even sometimes I had to say, okay, take some time off and everything. You've been so committed to this. This is crazy.
Thank you.
Honestly, Chairman, thank you for doing this. And I think we just have to quickly round up. Somehow I just felt there was something. I'm like, okay, this is not how chairman speak. When you speak towards the end, I didn't know that you're not even feeling fine. So all this while we're talking, we're just talking. Wow. So just give us your last closing words. Do you have any?
Well, let me appreciate all supporters. Let me appreciate Aisha especially. I am humbled really by your contribution, Aisha. Well, you have always been wonderful. You have always been, you've always stood by the people, and I'm very, very proud of you. I'm happy that you are my sister. Let me assure people that we have put our hands on the plow, and they will not look back. We'll continue to fight. Our response may be slow. You may think that we are on the defensive, but I want to assure you that we'll get to the promised land. I'm happy doing what I'm doing. I feel highly fulfilled that God has given me this privilege to lead Nigerians, the downtrodden of our people, to struggle for a better Nigeria. Let me reassure you that we'll reclaim this mandate and we'll begin the journey for a new Nigeria. A new Nigeria is indeed possible. Thank you, and God bless you this evening.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Chairman, and God bless you. And at this moment, I just want to say to every one of us that is listening, this is the Nigerian spirit. This is a new Nigerian spirit. And there's so many people who are doing so many things and sacrificing so much. I didn't know that Chairman was in Philippines. Otherwise, I would not have done this. I would have definitely said to him, no, I'm sure that's the reason he didn't even let me know. But I did notice as we kept talking that there was energy was going on. There was a lot of hesitation. I know that's not Chairman. I knew something wasn't very right. And I decided to okay, we are stopping this at this moment. But just to say to everyone, there is hope. There is hope of a new Nigeria. And what is happening today is not really a fight against Labour Party or a fight against Peter Obi, but it's a fight against the whole of Nigerians. And we must stand up and do the needful. The people who have held this country down for a very long time, they have always hoped on one thing, and that is the control of the minds of the people. And 2022, 2023 came, and what has happened is that the people have emancipated themselves and they're speaking up. And so they're going to do everything they can and bring out all the arsenals that they have and the machinery within their reach to use it against the people, because they will want the people subjugated. So let us know that this is a fight that every one of us must take on. Yes, there are a lot of things about the Labour Party. There are many things I would want them to do that ordinarily they are not doing now. But we must recognize the fact that Labour Party is like that football club that was happily playing in its Nigerian league. And all of a sudden, it was pulled into the Premier League and also the Champions League. And of course, we expect they might not run as much as they can, but every one of us must agree with me when I say that they've put in their best, and they've always agreed they'll continue to put in their best. And the thing that for me I really like about them is the fact that they are always ready to listen to criticism and listen to the yearnings of the people and listen to what the people are saying and respond accordingly. For those of us who have been here, who are where people have come out to say, Labour Party, this is what you're not doing right. You saw what the chairman did. He didn't sit around beating around the bush or trying to defend himself. Wherever he said, yes, we've recognized this, and we're going to do things about it. We must also realize that there's no free lunch in the world. There's no place in the world where you just sit down and expect that things will happen without it putting in things, especially in politics. Politics is about money. It's not money not just money, no money to rig or loot or pay people, but monies to run everyday things. Parties have to be run, websites have to be paid for, a lot of things have to be paid for. And so please, if we are registering, let's also know that there must be a financial commitment that will come from some of us. There are people that might say, okay, you are not a Labour Party member, you don't have to be, but you can make a commitment to say, I will donate certain amount of money to Labour Party every day. And this account, let it be public. It could be 10,000 naira, it could be 5,000 naira, it could be 2,000, it could be 1,000, it could even be the 100 naira for those who are not, just put it in there, say, this is what I would donate to this party to ensure that they are able to fight the money bags who have access to state funds. We must put our votes, we must put our monies where our votes are. Nigerians did it in 2023 election by coming together and using their resources, and we can use it to continue to ensure that Labour Party stays strong. And most importantly, we must hold them accountable and ensure that they're doing the right thing for Nigerian people. Finally, I will say to every one of us, when you're fighting a war, you don't fight in the manner that is the strength of your opponent. The people we are fighting today, they're used to propaganda. And that's why a minister, one of their members, a minister will come online and say that they're going to fight propaganda with propaganda. We as citizens of Nigeria who are fighting to reclaim our mandate, we're not going to fight propaganda with propaganda. We're going to fight propaganda with the truth. And the truth is very easy. So some of the things that you see being out there and jumping and doing also might not be, we're not going to fight the way they are used to fighting, because in that way, they're already strong in it. They've had decades of putting themselves together and fighting that way. What we are going to do is to fight in a strategic manner, is to fight, with our clear heads, is to ensure every step of the way we're staying on, we're being truthful, we're staying with the truth, and we are doing things strategically. And that's the way we're going to get this on. And let's not forget, on this issue of Nigeria, there is no retreat, no surrender. Nigeria is our country, and we all must fight for a country where the child of nobody can become somebody without knowing anybody. Thank you, everyone. And see you again next week, 6 p.m. every Saturday. This program will be coming on, inshallah, 6 p.m. Nigerian time. So for those of you who have joined it today on Zoom and also on YouTube, we have over 1,000 people on YouTube that have joined. Thank you, and thank you. And Chairman, we wish you the best of health. May God heal you. I'm going to call you now. We're going to fight. I'm like, why did you do this? Thank you. May God bless you.
Thank you,
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Bye-bye. See you next week, inshallah, God willing. Thank you.